Hi everyone, an absolute honour to present on Wednesday and to share just a little bit who we are and how we do things. And just to recap, if you are a frontline first responder, past, present or even future, you could be down one of the recruiting areas at the moment, you could be in the middle of police college or whatever your induction course may be. You're already smart, you already have the skills, you're already a professional, you can get through anything you're going through if you find the right person to show you and the right process. That's it, okay? So what I'm going to do today is I've got the questions that you've all put through from us speaking. So I'm going to address those questions personally. And listen, if you end up working with me or your organisation ends up working with me, the online support is going to be like this. This is the Lion's Den up at the Lion Academy. A quick tour. Over this side we have the world. We have the lion, which is how I do things. I'm not scared of anything, right? I'm not scared of suicide. I'm not scared of the complexity of this stuff because it's actually not that complex. When you look at it through a certain lens, you'll see an eagle over there that reminds me about our vision. There's a Kiwi over there because I'm a Kiwi. I respect the Anzac tradition. I'm a military veteran, so Aussies and Kiwis, the Anzac spirit, rock solid. You'll see my books behind me, VIP of Mental Health Workbook, Good News About PTSD, and then over this side you'll see a speaking chief, which is called a tulafale, and it's a speaking chief that speaks on behalf of the High Chief. That's to honour my Pacific Samoan side and also the mission of what is best for us in the world. It's my role to speak that, to train that. And there's a battle angel there that just says, hey listen, I do my best to fight on the side of good, and again I'm not scared, and I enjoy a good battle, a good challenge, eh? So let's get into these questions. So first question, this makes so much sense, resonate with the counsellor, which is Binti. Binti is Graham Bint, the other gentleman on the summit. Comment only, so many EAP contacts have failed as those in place to support. Have no idea of the field policing. Great to hear this is acknowledged. Okay, statistically, EAPs, employee assistance programs, are 30% effective globally. Okay, now I'm not slagging them off, that is great news. There's a 30% effectiveness there. So now we need to uplift the other 70%, which is what we're doing our part on, alright? I'm not trying to attack EAPs. It's like, man, they're only 30% effective. If they weren't there, we wouldn't have any effectiveness in there, right? So they're 30% effective. We need to prop up the other 70%. Okay, are you guys available for public speaking engagements? Yes, I'm a global speaker. You can go to www.dionjensen.com. All the speaking content that I can speak about are there, or you can email me, Dion@DionJensen. I can send you my speaking portfolio. Speak about lots of stuff all around the world. Do you only engage with ex-military and their families, or with other responders as well? If you have a heartbeat, that's who I help. I started in the military. I have connection with military and veterans and military families. Then I went to the police, so I understand law enforcement and that policing model, security model, AMBOs, fireys, first responders. But I also went all the way through corporate. I was a regional operations manager for Asia Pacific out of Singapore. So I help anyone. I have my own content lenses and filters. Doesn't matter who you are. If you're struggling with something that you're thinking, feeling or doing, I can help. Alright, what's next? Alright, this question really made me angry, alright? And I can help this person, reach out to me, okay? I have a 20-year-old son diagnosed with chronic treatment-resistant PTSD. And geez, I got pissed off when I heard that. What that medical model is saying is, because our medical model is not working for this person, it must be their fault. So they've got a label, chronic treatment-resistant PTSD. Right. Social anxiety and comorbid major depressive disorder. My God, these labels. We have tried clinical psychologists and psychiatrists over the last few years, as well as several hospital admissions. I'm desperate for some more direction. That model is not working for you, kid. I think we've established that. So what do you do next? Reach out to myself, reach out to Binti. Both of us will get on a Zoom call with you as the parents so we can find out the information, give you our advice, what we think. And if your 20-year-old is willing to get on a call with us, I'll talk to them. I'm not scared to talk to anyone. And he might actually share a whole lot of stuff that he might not share with psychiatrists, because we're not psychiatrists. Not slagging them off. If you don't speak the same language, there's no conversation. And it's clearly shown that that model is not working for them. It doesn't say the model doesn't work, okay? Please hear me. Doesn't say the medical model doesn't work. It says it's not working for your 20-year-old. Okay? Works for lots of other people, might not work for your 20-year-old. Let's find out why. and look at all the other modalities you've got access to. Go to the lineacademy.co.nz, it's $1, get in there, and there's a Mental Health Solutions Summit, 26 other speakers, and there is the opening speaker is Johnson Chong. He talks about the difference between the Western medical model and the Eastern model. Okay, you can start there, you can share that link as well, but we're happy to talk to your 20-year-old. Any suggestions on how to handle a group of people suffering from PTSD from fires and aftermath, first responders? Is it better to handle individual people or work with a group? We answered that question live, but to answer it again, everyone together with that shared experience has really tight team spirit. I would address the entire group like this. Look, if you're from this town and you've dealt with this collectively, I want to acknowledge the trauma and then the fears, what do you do with the future, how do we, all that stuff, talk to as a group. And then get the feedback from individuals and then put online support for them where they can come in and interact. And I can do that in the Line Academy. So if you represent a first responder organisation, get whoever's in charge to reach out to me and I can set that up for you within a week. Piece of cake. And I say piece of cake not to devalue the trauma, but this is what I do. I own it, I've got access to it, I can create your own tab, we can get in there as a community and help. And I get to bring the whole PTSD Solutions community in there as well. So if I need to bring 20 people with me, put 20 different speakers online so that every single person in the town can find someone they can resonate with, we can do that. Right, next one. Will you put the links for these gentlemen on the website later? Yes, they're going to do that. My personal site is dionjensen.com. My online academy is thelineacademy.co.nz. My PTSD solution is thegoodnewsaboutptsd.com. And my PTSD solutions community is theptsdsolutionscommunity.com. Okay, and through those links you can find everything else that I do. Binty's got his. Employee assistance programs are all medical models. Suggestions on how we can change this. They must have access to who we are. So your organisation, whoever you're a part of, email me, dion@dionjensen.com. I don't alienate EAPs, I include them. So you can say, Dion, this is our EAP employment company, or this is my boss, they can reach out to me. I say, these are the programs that I have, connect me with your EAP. I can speak that language, it's fine, it's okay. And then you can get access to these other models. Okay? Advice for current serving. Love my job. If we reach out for help, it can be a career killer. Yes, it can. I'm not going to sugarcoat this, alright? Under liability and duty of care, we know this, we're frontline professionals. If there's any concerns for your mental health, it can affect your promotional status, your deployment status, your ability to carry a firearm, all that stuff. Because if you are a risk to the team, we can't have you being a risk for the team. We acknowledge that as fellow frontline. However, because so much of these mental health challenges are very, very simple to fix, if we reach out and run this process, that won't happen if it's in confidence. So the model I sent to the New Zealand Defence Forces works brilliantly for police forces as well. The difference with the Defence Force, the military side and the police side was still in the community every single day. With the military, it's a separate world. But with the police, it's really, really simple. I grab generally the padres or the priests or that other confidential side, or even your medical side, and you can run through my programs with them there because they're bound by confidence, and then they can report back to say, listen, 10 of our troops or 10 of our staff are doing Dion's Victory Over PTSD program. I'm with them in every class. They know what's going on. They're bound by confidentiality, so they can't breach any of your details. And then you've got that double level of support. But yeah, that's one of the biggest fears. In the military, the biggest fear is asking for help and then get medically discharged. That's why people don't ask for help. There's one caveat. Actually, there's two. There's two caveats that those of us in this space do not breach. All right? First and foremost, if I believe that you are going to kill yourself right now, I'm calling emergency services. Right? I'm going to do that, and I expect you to do that for me. We can't risk each other's lives. If I say I'm going to kill myself, I've got a method to do it in a time frame. Call emergency services and let me be alive to hate you for it, as opposed to me killing myself and you feeling guilty. All right? First caveat, if I think you're going to kill yourself, then I'm going to call emergency services, right? Secondly, if I believe you are a risk to your team, and I'm going to bring this up you right at the front as we start talking, what's going on, how can I help you? Cool, okay, here's the two caveats. If I think you're going to kill yourself right now, I'm calling emergency services. And if I believe that you are a risk to your team, to your partner, to your family, you and I need to have an honest discussion, and we need to both go together and report that. All right, we are frontline staff, team before self in the risk side, and then we need to look after self. Okay, we don't want to be a risk to our team. Okay, what's really interesting is most of us that struggle become actually high performers on the job, so people don't know we're struggling. All right, but it can be a career killer, and that's one of the stigmas associated with people not asking for help. That's why it's good to ask for help outside of here. I'm under no obligation to tell your bosses or your unit anything to do with you, because I have no agreement with them. I have an agreement with you which is fully confidential. Right? Okay, next one. It's good to see macho men, army military background people, but happy to talk about the emotion and about the hardest question ever. I would like to have their websites, so dionjensen.com, lineacademy.co.nz, goodnewsaboutptsd.com, the PTSD Solutions community. My YouTube channel has some of my most emotional stuff where I'm in tears. I'm a big, strong, tough guy now. I wasn't always, and I've been broken. All right. So those in my circle that know me, as I'm a care bear. I'm generally a protector. I like protecting people, and I like fighting. Man, I can fight. I'm a good fighter. All right. Love boxing, love close quarter combat, and all this. I can handle myself. And in my darkest moments, I'm sitting there bawling my eyes out over a TV advert. So anyone watching this, I used to ask this question: are you crying for no reason yet? And if that is you, there's a really good reason for that, and I can help with that as well. So I appreciate acknowledging that, yeah, we are tough guys. We've been through some stuff, right? You're frontline stuff, you're tough too. Different levels of toughness, mentally tough, physically tough, emotionally tough. But yeah, we're tough guys, and there's times in our life, couldn't do it myself. Couldn't. Right? I literally could not do it myself. I needed help. There's no shame in that. Because you're not asking for help, you're calling for reinforcements. Alrighty. Next question. Asking the hard question doesn't mean putting the idea in their heads. This is a myth. Alright? Asking someone if they're suicidal is not going to make them think about suicide. And oh yeah, what a great idea. Are you thinking about killing yourself? No, I wasn't until you said it. Great idea. Yeah, because no, it's a myth. Alright? Ask them the point blank question. Like if you're really concerned. Because only three things can happen. Right? They can go, no, don't be stupid, I'm just having a shit day. That's great, right? Better than them saying. The other option is, yeah, I am. I'd rather be dead than being alive. Listen for these words. Had enough, mate. I've just had enough. Red flag straight away. Bro, that sounds dangerously like you're thinking about killing yourself. Don't say suicide. Point blank. And all the cops know this. When you do an informing job and you tell someone, and an informing job is someone has died, they're dead, or they've been killed in a crash or whatever it is, but they're dead. Alright? When you go and inform and tell their families, it's a horrible job to do this, alright? This is the one that makes me cry, alright? Is going there and telling people that their loved ones have died. And oh my God, and I'm trying not to tear up right now, right? The mums always know. Every cop that's done this, has seen this, knows what I'm talking about. You don't even make it through the front gate, mum looks outside and she knows and she wails, right? And ooh, gets you right in the heart, right? So, when you're doing a informing job, you must use the word dead. I'm sorry, ma'am. First thing is establish you at the right address and you're talking to the right person. Is this such and such address? Yes. Are you such and such? Yes. Do you have a son named such and such? Yes. I'm very sorry, ma'am. Your son was involved in a motor vehicle accident. He is dead. And then you'd be quiet. And then all the other stuff happens, but you must say dead, not passed on, because you want to think that they're injured. So when you ask the question about suicide, say, are you thinking of killing yourself? Are you thinking of killing yourself right now? And do you have a way that you would do that? And if they outline a method, that raises the risk. And do you have a time frame? When are you thinking of doing this? You know what? I got the bottle of whiskey, I've got my dogs, I've got all their pills, all that sort of stuff. I'm going to wait until after Dawn Parade. I'm going to wait until after this anniversary, and that's me, bro, I'm out. Alright? Call emergency services. Okay? But ask them the point blank question. I will not put the idea in their head. It's either in there or it's not. Okay? I'm a police officer who manages other police officers. When we identify someone who we think has a mental health issue, we usually have to remove their firearm, which is a very visible symbol of operational identity. So many operational police are afraid of having their firearm taken from them and being taken off operational duty, and sometimes I think this makes it worse. It's very difficult. Yes, it is. I've managed police staff myself up to the level of acting sergeant. I've run teams in Iraq. It's so attached to your identification of being a good operator. You go out there without your firearm. New Zealand will not arm regularly, but for those, like when we're overseas, we're always carrying. Why aren't you carrying? Then that tells them there's something else going on. That's the VIP of mental health. That's identity, right? So identity, if you're not carrying a firearm, means you're not capable of carrying a firearm, and it affects everything else. Now, if there's any risk, of course you got to take their firearm. It's part of the job. All right? It's a control. It's how you communicate that. So if I'm having issues, I'm flashing off, and I'm getting angrier, and you need to pull me in as the sergeant or the inspector and say, Dion, what's going on, mate? You're starting to spark. What's happening? Oh, man, I'm just dealing with some stuff. Well, you need to lock your shit down, dude, because you're acting outside of how professional you normally are. That means I ought to get you assessed, and if I think that you're going to be a danger to your team or any other member of the public carrying that firearm, I'm taking it off you. All right, that's professional. We're officers. Deal with it. Okay, I'll wrap the support around you and all the rest of it, and we carry on. We'll get through it, get everything signed off, get your firearm back. Let's crack on. Where it gets really, really hard is when you're taking off frontline duties. You got to do shit jobs, right? So you might be stood down pending an investigation, or for mental health stuff and all the rest of it, and you get thrown on some bullshit paperwork job. That kills identity and value. There is a way to do that. So in our VIP of mental health program, I get it, but that's our job. All right? Safety of the team, safety of the public comes first. That's our job. Yes, it's difficult. That's the job. All right? Got the rank, got the responsibility, do the job. You got to eat that. You got to take that on you. Better that than the alternative of him going and blowing his head off, or her going and blowing her head off, or looping out and shooting people. All right? That's why we have that rule. It is difficult. But if you put these other processes that will teach you in place around them, they will thank you for it. And if it happens, it'll become normal. Hey guys, Dion's starting to lose his shit. He's getting a little bit angry. Taking his sidearm off him for his safety, your safety, and everyone else's. He's not a psychopath. He's not going to look out, kill himself or anyone else. But that's the process. All right? And then what will the rest of the cops do? Will they support him and be really, really nice? No, they'll shit on him. Give him a whole lot of black humour stuff and make fun of him. You know, that's how we get through that stuff. Yeah, I know it's hard. It's the job. All right? Do the job. Where are we? What do you do if someone gets triggered by a memory or flashback? How do you get them back to the present? We talked about grounding, and it depends where you are. If you're face to face, it's look at me. Hey, look at me. You've got to bring them back into something. The other one is a question really brings them back into prefrontal cortex. All right, bro, look at me. Who am I? What do you see? What can you hear? What can you smell? Tell me what's happening. Get them in that present moment. Unless they're a werewolf, all right. You can't ground a werewolf. You create time and space around the werewolf, and you try and keep it quiet. They're ranting and carrying on and having a flash with this. Keep everyone else away from them and let it burn out. Okay? Never try to get on and try and ground a werewolf. They will rip your head off. Alright? So in my book, Good News About PTSD, there's these techniques, and the worksheets are already in there, and it's free. Alright? So you have to know which subconscious bodyguard is manifesting, because how you deal with them is different for all of those memories. Okay? Whoever asked that question, reach out. We can have a discussion. I can talk you through that. I don't know of any support groups on otherwise for partners of paramedics in my local area. I feel like it's a huge gap. Start one. Start one. Post on your Facebook page. I'm starting a support group for partners of paramedics. Okay? Facebook, invite me, invite Binti. We'll put the word out. Tell us where you are. This person starting partners of paramedics support group on a Facebook page for this area. We'll promote it. Group exists. Job done. Right. Great point, Graham. It's getting better in the service, not where it should be. Thanks, Dion. You're making a huge difference for many. Best I've had is from peers and mates. Yes. A genuine how are you and follow up. Genuine is the word. You need a battle buddy. There's stuff we talk about in those vehicles on shift we don't tell any other human being on the planet. Alright? You need to be able to talk about the stuff with each other. Need a battle buddy. And then you need someone else that the both you can go and talk to. Be a good battle buddy. But you got to be genuine. Just checking up on them. And challenge them. If I'm talking to Binti, hey bro, how's it going? Yeah, good. Bullshit. You look like shit. How are you sleeping? Yeah, I'm alright. The moment you say alright, I know you're lying because you're a bloody pom. Right? Be a good battle buddy. Challenge them. Maybe you look like shit. Yeah, I had a scrap with the wife this morning, bro. Cool, man. What's going on? I don't want to talk about it. Okay. Now you're aware. Okay, so be a good battle buddy. This has been a fascinating and thought-provoking conversation. Thank you very much to the panel. You are very welcome. Thank you for reminding us that the demons are messages and should not be ignored. Pushing things away is not helpful. No, it's not, but they're not demons. They just manifest that way, and it's a way for us to communicate. So, just to show you what the book looks like, that's the first one ever printed. It's not even the right size book. It's printed from a photocopier bound together. 10th of May 2016, first mock print. Okay, Kaya and Kingston in the car on their iPads, Tanya on the Gold Coast, proud as. So that's what I wrote inside my book. So both my kids are in the car on their iPads when I was picking this book up here in Palmy, and my wife Tanya was on the Gold Coast on holiday. That was in there. So when we talk about the demons, yeah, they manifest as demons first. So I'll show you some of the pictures of these characters, because you know the ghost, she was flipping scary when she first popped out. So that's the werewolf. Right, pretty easy to recognise a werewolf when he manifests. That's the paranoid assassin. Alright, so he's the scout that's morphed. And then this was the ghost. You know? She was a scary, scary person. They just wanted to pull you down to ice cold water and get you to switch off, right? So that's where all that all comes from. And just to go further onto those messages, where can we get our books? They're on our websites. Thank you all, very useful, very welcome. Just want to finish these questions off with a huge thank you to Wellbeing Australia. I do get asked to speak. For those who don't know my background, I do a lot of speaking around the world. You can Google me, you can find that out. And we get asked to come and speak at a lot of these summits because we have something different. And we're saying solutions, 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 not awareness. And we were very well behaved because we're disruptors. We're challenging the status quo. We are challenging foundational principles and incomes and that of the medical model that aren't working in isolation. So very difficult for organisations to get us in there because you've got to pay. Organisations got to pay. If you're struggling, you don't have any money, reach out, we'll still help you. Organisations, no. Alright? You can see all of our corporate rates. We'll come into organisations and we will come and help. What's it going to take for us to come into organisations and make this change? Courage. There needs to be a commander on here that has the courage to stand up and say, this is not working the way we are currently doing it. I'm losing staff and I'm worried about my staff. I want the solutions community in here to see what they can do. And I will work with your psychs and counsellors. I will work with your EAP. But I know what works and what doesn't. None of this scares me. I have been through it myself. I have worn the uniform. I've been through so many of the things that we all go through in uniform. The injuries, the flipping HIV tests of flipping getting stabbed with a needle or punched in the face or sharing blood. I've dealt with dead bodies, I've dealt with dead kids, multiple traffic accidents, I've fought for my life with my hands. I've gone through all that stuff as well as the stuff we don't talk about. Where the bloody endless file tray, if I was breeding the file tray, the extramarital affair bullshit that goes on between stuff, the horrible, horrible stuff that you see, and there's something that we can't explain to someone who's not frontline. You cannot explain to someone who's not frontline how things feel when you're in those scenes. But when we start talking about all this dark, scary stuff, we forget about the awesome, amazing, good, fun stuff. There is nothing better than being out there with the ability to help your fellow man.